Ladies and gentlemen, sons and daughters of all ladies, I salute you all. Benjamin is my prefix, Otwal is my suffix, music executive, and I play the orchestra. Welcome to the Music Business Academy. So the Music Business Academy basically is a concept that is conceptualized as a result of me being in the music industry, I think from 2012, and seeing the gap that is there, which is in terms of structure and just information. A lot of artists out there are flying blind in terms of strategy, in terms of planning, in terms of A&R, in terms of finance. So Music Business Academy is meant to basically turn talents to enterprises, in the sense that we want to create systems and structures that artists can use to repeat success. By success, I mean, some of you might define it differently in terms of traction, in terms of conversion, in terms of numbers, in terms of money, in terms of impact, right? So music is a business like any other business, only that now it's a bit diversified because you're dealing with a huge spectrum in terms of clientele, and has different avenues. So the same way you'd run a company, you have marketing, you have production, you have finance, you have legal, you have not procurement, I won't call it procurement per se, but you have A&R, you have branding. So music has all these elements at the end of the day. And as an artist, there's a lot of money that goes into music. And what I usually tell artists is, if I was to give you $1,000 or even $5,000 and tell you go buy land, right? That's equivalent of around 500 to 600,000 shillings, depending on the dollar conversion rate. The amount of due diligence that you'd put in terms of getting the land is a lot. You'd end up knowing about how to do the search. You'd end up knowing about all the certifications, land history. The same amount of due diligence you'd apply when you're doing, you're going to buy a car, right? You'd end up knowing about the torque. You end up knowing about the engine, the CC, maintenance of the car, spare parts, all those nitty-gritties in terms of details. Mind you, artists spend close to $5,000 or minimum $2,000 on a project. By a project, I mean audio production, video production, right? So why don't we put the same amount of due diligence on these projects? Because at the end of the day, you're investing the same amount of money on the same project, right? So you're investing $6,000, upwards $10,000 or $15,000. So we need to put the same amount of due diligence, because if you're to equate the same amount of money on a different project, you'd basically put a lot more due diligence. So music is a business in that sense. You're putting money in, the money has to come out, and in terms of also profit. And you also need to be sustainable so that at the end of the day, you reach a lot more people. You need to know how to position yourself, because at the end of the day, right now there's close to 1,200,000 songs being released every day. And that's just music, right? There's also content on TikTok. And if you equate to that, the market right now is global. So you're not just competing with a local Kenyan in terms of attention. You're not competing with your fellow artists in terms of, do I give you 3 minutes of my attention, or do I give it to this artist? You're competing globally. It's either I listen to you, or I listen to someone in South Asia, or I listen to someone in America, or I listen to someone in Europe, right? So at the end of the day, you need to position yourself. Talent is 5%. And the song is the product, which is basically 10%. So in total, you have 15%. The rest is persistence, consistency, strategy, discipline, and you either spend the money or the time. There are only two avenues. So this Music Business Academy, we're basically going to be fast-tracked in terms of learning the whole process of from creation. Once you have the product, how do you get it out in terms of distribution? How do you do publishing? How do you do marketing? How do you position yourself so that there's a difference and people can actually identify your niche, right? How do you sustain yourself? How do you have longevity at the end of the day? So that at the end of the day, it becomes something that you can leave behind for your children in terms of assets, because songs are assets. I look at songs as pieces of land because they basically generate passive income through royalties and revenues, right? So in a nutshell, that's what we'll be going through in the Music Business Academy. And in the near future, we'll also onboard artists and just talk about three elements. So there are three elements that we are going to approach this. And these ones I borrowed from my previous employer, which is Junior Achievement. So we're going to look at it on three perspectives. There's financial literacy, there's entrepreneurship, and there's work readiness. So sit tight, tell a friend to tell a friend if you know artists. This is the right place to be. We'll share a lot of information and a lot of knowledge and experiences I've been able to gain through the years. So see you around. Make sure you share, subscribe, and cheers. Oriti. God bless you.